Look here, pal. You need to learn better driving. You're putting a lot of people in danger, Buster. I'm sorry you saw me blow up like that. You know, a lot of times people feel safer expressing themselves in their cars. Maybe that's why the guy talking to a camera in their car is a thing right now. Weird that men feel safer being themselves when they're surrounded by petroleum and plastic. But maybe if I'm in a confessional space, I could tell you something right now. All right, now come here. This one's for you smaller people. I'm gonna tell you something. Listen very carefully. Grown-ups, we don't always follow the rules. Like, sometimes I drive faster than I'm supposed to. Other times, I move wiring around my house without telling the city like I'm supposed to. I think even right now, one of our chickens might be a rooster, and we're not allowed to have roosters. But you know, there are those rules I really, really want to follow. And a lot of them are the rules that grown-ups tell small people all the time. Like, keep your hands to yourself. Or, 2 wrongs don't make a right. We know that. And we know, you know that we know that. But we also know that you've seen grown-ups not always act that way. It's hard. It's like when Jesus tells his friends today that when somebody hurts you, tell them. Try to work it out with them. If they don't believe you or want to listen to you the first time you tell them, maybe take a friend of yours that's also a friend of theirs and see if you can work it out to make things better. Because when you do that, it makes things a little bit more like heaven. But I got to tell you, sometimes when I've hurt somebody and they tell me, I don't want to hear it. I get defensive. Maybe I think of a reason that I did it. I look for excuses, or even try to say it was necessary. Or if somebody hurts me, I'm sometimes afraid to tell them. I think they'll get defensive. Maybe it'll turn into a fight. And it's easy to see why we do that. Because when you look around, you do see a lot of grown-ups who don't want to use words to fix problems. We do see a lot of grown-ups who resort to violence, and people cheer for them. We do see a lot of grown-ups who act big and powerful by not doing any of the things that Jesus said to do. We see a lot of big people act that way and get very powerful. And we think if we're going to be big, we have to act like that too. But Jesus tells his friends very clearly, if you want to make the world better, if you want the world to be more heavenly, then you have to welcome and become like the smallest. So little ones, you have a really important role. If you can hear the words of Jesus like a child, like you're hearing them for the first time, you can help us see the world the way we're supposed to and act in the world the way we're supposed to. And Jesus isn't saying this because he's bossy. He's not acting like a boss saying, do what I've told you because I've told you. He's saying, do what you see me doing because this is what love looks like and it's how we make the world better. So if you're someone who can hear the words of Jesus like a child, you get to lead us. You get to show us what we should be doing. And that's a big job for a little person. Look at the time. I got to come up with a sermon for the big people too. So, okay. Hey, big people, aren't kids hilarious? Get a load of this.
What are you making?
Well, I'm going to make my mother and father kissing.
Oh, you got a bunch of clay here, and which is this, your father?
This is to be my mother.
Yeah, let me show everybody what your mother looks like. She's a beautiful thing, as anybody can see. That's your mother, huh? And this
Oh, kids can be so funny. Coincidentally, at the beginning of the chapter from which this week's gospel passage comes, Jesus says we should be like and welcome children. And even though everyone who's ever heard that Bible story has in fact been a child, we sometimes forget what that's like. And so we go round and round and back and forth about what exactly that might mean. Now, I think it might be helpful to think of it in terms of what we do for communion and, conveniently enough for Labor Day, what work is. Now, when we think about work, maybe I think, I worked, I made $1, and I bought some bread. But I think that hides an awful lot of work and workers. I mean, where's the baker? The store clerk? How about the cashier? Or people who make ovens? And people who fix ovens? And people who keep gas and electricity flowing? And I haven't even yet gotten to farm workers, and a harvester driver, and a silo operator, and train engineer. Goodness, what about grapes? $1.99 a pound? $1.99, and farm workers there, working in the heat, even when it's 110 degrees and they're tired, they're picking grapes for us. Where is their work? When Jesus says he's present in the bread and in the wine we get from grapes, I don't think he's asking us to think magically. I think he's asking us to think very realistically. Jesus says he's right there, and his invitation is to see the world from that place, his place, the lowliest person's place. And that's the possible beginning of something better for us, because just like Jesus said, if you approach the world from the perspective of the person who is the least powerful, the one who needs the most, you are going to want things to be heavenly. He is the lowliest person whose story is included in this life-giving food. And if we're going to see the world correctly, we have to see it from that smallest person's perspective. We have to make the world like heaven for that person. That is what Jesus is asking us to do, and that's good for everyone. And it's from that view, that spot, that any of us might be best able to see what is actually good and helpful, to be able to hear what others really need. It's from that view that the words and the work of Jesus make the most sense and resonate most deeply for us. And when we do them, we are living the kingdom of heaven.
Hey, can we go now?
Yeah, we can go now. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.